Yo, Henshin a go-go, baby. What's good, guys? Yoku here. Welcome back to another episode of Dragon Ball Z. Today, the YNEO is going to be talking about the Zenless Zone Zero dev talk for version 1.7. Now we can get into this. We got a dev talk that we can go on and talk about. I only know a little bit about what's going on. I'm pretty positive that it's really cool. Anyway, we're going into the dev talk. I haven't even seen all the dev talk. I just happened to see this when it went live and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I'll watch it tomorrow. And then ping, 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 ping. EO, did you see this? EO, you were right. They said this. Remember when you talked about the Street Fighter 6 and then the collab between Capcom? They're doing it. They're doing it. Remember the Hollow Zero? They're doing it. And I'm like, okay. We got to watch the dev talk. So now we're here.
Peninsula.
Y'all are just like Moon, bro. Y'all can't listen. It's okay though. I forgive you.
The earlier
I forgive you.
Of this region was tasked
mango over watermelon, 100%. I'm actually like slightly allergic to watermelon.
And the name Wi-Fi
but
derived
mango,
from the
100%.
characters for protect and anomaly. From the phrase protection from the anomaly called the hollows. Later, an outpost was established here, which then became the city area Phalium Heights.
This is a new place, right?
Ooh! Built at the top of a cliff.
This is giving me Splatoon vibes.
With its beautiful scenery. This is also an area.
This makes me want to play Splatoon. I'm not gonna lie to you, but this is giving me Splatoon vibes.
Resistant to ether. Meanwhile, our protagonists will encounter agents from various factions.
You know what I do like though? I'm gonna turn off the captions for a little bit.
For example,
if you look at the, never mind. Time out. Who the f is this? Who the fork is this? What I was gonna point out. If you look beneath the bar, story direction, game experience, like they tell you on a timeline. Like I love that. I love that. Now, we can play it because I need to know who.
On brand new adventures. For example, that way seeker with yellow cape we saw earlier is none other than Yixuan.
Who is this?
Leader of Yunhui Summit. She will make her debut as a key character. The current leader of
Chat, I want to point out some design. I just want to talk about it for a little bit. This design is like a 9.5 out of 10. And it's borderline a 10. This shit is nice. This shit is nice. I'm gonna tell you why it's nice. The like half one-piece bodysuit thing going on, that's cool. Yeah. But then you get down onto the lower, the one thigh high, and then the just bare thigh on the other side, bare skin. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10, bro. You can't top that, okay? Then on the opposite side of her body, one arm has a sleeve, the other is skin. 10 out of 10, bro. You can't top that. I'm telling you, it's just same thing as Jane, bro. They do stuff like that, it's over. It's over, bro. And then she got the wings. And what's crazier, wings come out.
We saw earlier is none other than.
And they go back in. Who the fuck is this? Who is she? Listen. The eyes are glowing. I'm feeling this character. I like how they presented her and the fact that they just boom. It's cool. He was saying it. I had to like, yo, let me break it down real quick, right? She might be the original Ambi. I saw a couple of those. Turn these back on. Yeah, I saw a couple of those. I saw a couple of people talking about that.
Uncover her mysterious past and become a new disciple of Yunhui Summit.
I don't think she'd be the original Ambi though, right? But that does make sense, like, because where Ambi was inspired from.
Helping us explore the hollows directly. Beside Yixuan, who oversees Yunhui Summit.
Yixuan?
The defense forces Obo Squad that we all familiar with.
Okay.
As well as the previously revealed idol faction, Angels of Delusion, will all be making their appearance in Season 2.
I've been waiting on the idols for a minute now.
Teaser trailer.
Yo, idols, real quick. Let's just talk about the idols. I like this. I like the idol design, okay? There's 4 of them, even though we only see 3 right here. There's 4 idols. The reason I like the idol design, and I was explaining this, I was probably talking to Zeta and my boy Kaizen. I don't remember specifically, but the reason I like the idol designs is because this might be one of the first times that Zenless has an opportunity to give us a fully fledged team that just works. What I mean by that, if I can explain it briefly, is to basically go on the fact that I'm gonna reference fighting games real quick. In particular, let's reference like a Street Fighter team or King of Fighters. King of Fighters is a little more easier to understand. So in King of Fighters, traditionally, they come in pairs of 3, right? They all have a team that they come a part of. And these characters typically work very well together. They're usually designed to work flawlessly together, or, you know, whatever flaws come into play. Now, King of Fighters, the reason I'm bringing this up, even though KOF isn't exactly a team game where you're going to be doing swapping in and out like Marvel, I wanted to bring this up so that I could explain the concept of why these characters, lore-wise, would be on the same team. Now we can talk about something like MVC, right? So in Marvel, for those that might not be familiar with this, but I talk about it all the time, when you play Marvel MVC3, okay, so with Doctor Strange here, okay, even though everybody's dead, typically speaking, he would have somebody on the team to help cover his weaknesses. So let's say that Strange, I'm going to make up some because I really don't remember. I'm not like a pro at MVC. Cannot tell you why somebody's on the team for whatever they are. Let's say that Strange sucks at close quarters combat. He can't get in. He needs help getting in. That is where characters like Dante or Dormammu come into play so that they can use their assist to help him get in, right? In order to close the gap between him and his opponent. Let's say in the case that he's fighting Storm. Storm likes to fly, so she can avoid everything on the ground and do whatever she's doing. Now that happens, okay, maybe Dante has an ability to take somebody off of whatever it is, or take them out of the sky, or help Doctor Strange get in the sky, or swap out, right? All these different things come into factor. The reason why I'm saying that the idols, where we at, back over here, why they have an opportunity to do this is because even though the idols are coming 4 or 3 characters, whatever they're going to do, they have the opportunity to work together as a fully fledged team. So all of their passives, all their functions, everything works exactly how it's supposed to be. We've already been introduced to 2 of these concepts that I've already talked about, maybe 3 if I start talking about it. Yeah, a team with complete perfect synergy, exactly. So one of the concepts that we've already been exposed to is the off-field stunner. Boom. So like something like Trigger or Polkra, yeah, where now you have a character that's doing their job and it's off-field and they happen to work and benefit towards the team. You also have a character, yeah, there's like 4 different things that we've been exposed to now, so I'm gonna name them all. Sanbi is a on-field driver, right? Like she's in your face all the time. She doesn't want to be off the field. She works as a much more self-sufficient character compared to some of the other characters in the game, so she gets what she wants. Then you also have an off-field supporter like Astra. Astra literally press one button, I'm off the field for the rest of the game. Do whatever you gotta do. We also have Aftershocks, right? These abilities to have this additional attack, if you will, come into play. Ben and Coleta, the joint ultimates. This is something that we haven't seen since the beginning of the game. For whatever reason, they just haven't put it back in the game. Please make more joint ultimates or joint skills or combination attacks, because that would be really cool. I think it's awesome. This is a perfect time to reintroduce a lot of these mechanics or features into the game. That's why I'm really excited about the idols group, because of what they can bring to the table. We also have, where is it at here? I'm trying to think of what it is exactly. There's something that happens in the beginning of Hollow Zero. Now, if you didn't play early Zenless, you probably didn't see this, right? Because you can just skip it. In Hollow Zero, what ends up happening is if you're playing with whatever character, you have Yanagi and Harumasa coming into whatever's going on. Harumasa basically performs an assist attack, and then Yanagi also performs an assist attack. Boom, boom, and boom, right? And you're good to go. A lot of what happens there is the concept is you're on the field, you do something, right? Like you get a stun, and if I'm not mistaken, that's exactly what happens. If you get a stun on a character, Harumasa comes out, he pops off his arrows, and then they do the raining thunder down, right? And if you do the anomaly trigger, Yanagi comes out, and then she does whatever she wants. Bang Boos could also do this in the CBT 3 or 2, if I'm not mistaken, but they got rid of it, so now they can't do it anymore. It's kind of just random, but the characters have the ability to do it. They're already coded in the game to have the function to do that. In the event they were able to do that, that would be fucking awesome. So again, that's literally the gist of like why I'm excited for it.
All be making their appearance in Season 2. We've prepared a Season 2 teaser trailer to be released on April 13th. More information about the various factions will also be revealed then.
Season 2 PV, I'm down for that. I'm down for that. Compared to a regular update, what's special about the content of Season 2?
The content direction of Season 2.
The game
will
experience.
Not just be simply adding more characters and areas. We've completely revamped the entire map experience.
Okay.
And integrate the residential areas with combat zones at the system level.
Wait, what? How did they do that?
More fluid and engaging gameplay experience for practice. First,
I didn't have a...
Let's talk about the design of the main experience system level and integrate the residential area.
I've never had an issue with that, but hearing them say that's what they did, It's kind of interesting. So if I'm gathering this information, like if I had to explain this in a some type of example, think of Legends Arceus. If you've played Pokemon Legends Arceus on the Switch, or if you've played Metaphor, kind of works, but not really. And then Dragon Ball Z Kakarot kind of works, but not really. So basically, the way that they explained it is instead of you going from like zone to zone and then doing the combat, right? Like it transitions you into combat. They're expanding the fuck out of the map. This is what I'm assuming. I could be wrong on this. This is just how it's worded and what I'm interpreting, because they didn't show anything. If they showed it, it'd be a little different. They're expanding the map so that if I were to walk from Lumina Square to Open Hollow Hole, right? Random Hollow Zero Hole where the quest is, I can just go there, right? Like I don't have to teleport or do whatever. So this isn't really like, it's not necessary. Again, like you guys are saying in chat, no one really asked for this, but I do think it might be a nice little quality of life thing, because we did see that earlier when we were talking about like what 1.4, I think it was when they announced it, or 1.3. The persona like events where you can take the characters out on like dates and walk around and, you know, go across all the other people, all the other places. This might be more in tandem with that.
Areas with combat zones at the
People ask for this? Really?
providing a more fluid
Why?
and engaging gameplay experience.
Saw your video and I respect your take. Yo, Pyman, thank you. I appreciate
let's talk
that.
about the design of the main city area, Feilong Heights. We made the area much larger to ensure comprehensive city functionality while allowing for potential expansion in future versions.
I like that concept a lot. Yeah, okay, so we're right. They're making where the whole map is connected. So you have no loading screens. You walk through a door, it's just open, right? Or you like only time you have loading screens like through a store or something like that. But for the most part, everything in the world itself is connected. That's what it looks like. Substat Reroll will be goated. Oh yeah, absolutely.
And the customs of the Wi-Fi
New daily
area.
systems, okay.
As a business-savvy video store owner, helping Wing Kui Summit manage various aspects of 随便 Temple will also be a part of our new life. This new gameplay features management simulation elements.
Is this permanent?
Features such as bamboo dispatch, integrating residential areas with exploration areas.
Did they just give, okay, so not only did they just give us the teapot, they just gave us the teapot or a version of the teapot. And on top of that, they gave us the dispatch function, which also exists in Genshin Impact, but I'm more familiar with it from Honkai Impact 3rd because that also has a something like a housing system as well. What are the devs cooking?
And creating
I'm about to give you a teapot. Yo.
For the visuals, with the help and the maintenance of the proxies, 随便 Temple will gradually be restored to its former glory.
And y'all are sure this is permanent? It sounds more like an event.
Scratch cards will take on new forms that match the vibes of 随便 Temple. The frequently mentioned loading issues has also been resolved in Feilong Heights. Previously, due to a limitation in the underlying design, the video store that proxies see from outside along the street does not match the actual size of the video store from within.
Okay.
So, we need a loading screen to bridge the interior and the exterior of the store.
That's valid.
In Feilong Heights, however, returning home is no longer a process that requires waiting. Additionally, we've optimized the pathway in Feilong Heights.
Okay, so it sounds like a lot of what they're doing is just straight up in Feilong Heights. So I don't know if we should, I'm sure they'll expand it, you know, later on. I don't think this is something that's going to happen to the entire game, but it also sounds like Feilong Heights is just so big that you probably wouldn't leave the area anyway.
Area will be more concentrated, and the paths to access each area will become more efficient and streamlined, ensuring that overall experience will become smoother and more fluid. Next, let's take a look at the ancient ruins of the aerospace city located within the Lemnian Hollow. Although the aerospace city has long been devoured,
I feel like we'd be in Feilong Heights permanently rather than going back to 6th Street. Yeah,
is still being
that's what it's kind of like sounding like, you know.
In version 2.0,
you give us all this good stuff in Feilong Heights, why go back?
Of the Lemnian Hollow from the edge of the aerospace city, with the past few versions as precious learning experience, its overall design will be more refined, with larger explorable areas, more robust systems, and more streamlined guidance. One distinct improvement is that after completing their training at 随便 Temple, the proxy siblings no longer needed to return to the video store to access the hollows through
What?
the HDD system. Instead, they can now travel more conveniently between Billion Heights and the Aerospace City. The craft they will learn will also be of great help in their future holo explorations.
I like that they just tied in that the Phaethon is gonna get a new power or a new ability, function, whatever, right? Some science mumbo jumbo. And they tied it in lore-wise to quality of life. That's kind of cool. The bringer thing they pulled. Oh, you're right. You're right. Oh, that's gonna be fresh.
While we've added new areas,
That's gonna be
the travel system
fresh.
wouldn't just simply expand it upon. In Season 2, we've redesigned the travel system, changing from the original sliding area selection system to a larger map format. We're also improving the UI experience.
Okay.
We also added a mini-map to the interface, along with the navigation features. Proxies can now select their destination more quickly and gain a clear understanding of New Eridu's geographical layout. Regarding plot structure, we've also noticed that since special episodes and Phaethon stories
Someone asked me this on Twitter. I was a little confused by like what this meant, so now I get to see it.
The narrative structure results in weaker connections between plot points, resulting in a disjointed viewing experience. In future versions, we will merge special episodes and Phaethon stories together, putting more focus on developing the connection between the various agents and the main storyline. We're also deepening the Proxies environment.
I want to let them finish.
We will also steadily update the main storyline with each version, while ensuring that we do not compromise on its narrative quality. In addition to ongoing...
Okay, hold on. I don't like that change. I don't like that change. I know that might sound weird. Let me explain why. I actually like that the character stories and side stories and other episodes, the special episodes, don't actually have anything directly to do with the main plot. It'd be nice if some of them do, right? Like if we get a Miyabi story and we happen to be involved in whatever's going on with Miyabi and they make a special episode that is catered towards whatever's going on with Miyabi, I like that. That makes sense. But if we get a special episode, like let's take Rena's, and then it's, oh, Rena's story has nothing to do with Phaethon. It shouldn't. Like Rena's story is about her tragic, upbringing or whatever it is. Give us that. Like, that's fine. I love the comic. Bro, this is whoever told them this. The one change that I have not liked so far is this. It's an avenue to build characters without having to worry about the overall plot. Yeah, like I like that it's don't judge it too early. I'm not gonna judge it too early, but the reason that I like it in its current state, and maybe like you guys said, there's something that I'm not seeing that they'll eventually show. And HSR is a really good example of this too. Someone brought it up in chat. The reason I like the way it is right now is because it feels more like a comic book. If you guys don't know how comic books work, there's always a main plot. There's a main series. Boom. So if I read something about X-Men and I'm reading Academy X or something like that, which is Academy X is basically the story about when Cyclops and Emma Frost took over the Xavier Mansion and they started training their own X-Men, right? The students, but they trained them. It was literally like watching X-Men cross Naruto. Right? And that's the main plot. But then you have others for, like, let's say that Emma's doing something on her own. She's gone for a week from Academy X. There's another comic book that explains whatever the fuck she's doing that's going on, right? But it doesn't detract from what's happening in the main story. It still continues to go on. This is why I like the special episodes done in a similar fashion to Zenless, is because it allows each character to be their own character. I don't like if everything is tied to the main. That's what I'm trying to say. If everything is tied to the MC, I'm not a fan. Some of the side stories not only enrich the main plot, but provide extra depth to the characters. You get the perks of anime filler while still being canon. Yeah, everything isn't combined. You're thinking of agent stories. Special stories is something else. Yanagi's and Sambi's were. Right, okay, so Yanagi's story and Sambi's story were special stories, right? Okay. Sambi's story told more about Sambi. And we learned about her, Soldier 11, and the rest of what's going on with Anby. We also learned more about Nicole. We learned a little bit more about Billy. And we got a little bit of Nekomata. We also got to experience why Nekomata and Anby are the way they are with Nicole. It's more about them and what's going on in their life. That's what I'm saying. Like, even if the agent story fall under the same category, the reason why I like them is because it's about them. It's about that character. And if it just happens to be tied into the main plot, or they find a way to tie it into the main plot, that's fine. But the way that this is worded sounds like they're gonna start forcing it to be a part of the main plot, which I think is bad, because now you get into situations like Star Rail, the Rappa story, for instance. No one likes the Rappa story. Somehow it's a part of the main story quest, but it's not a part of the main story quest. It answers about Rappa that no one gives a fuck about, but the Rappa enjoyers like it, but it's boring. It shouldn't be that way. Like, keep them separate. They're not okay. If they're not matching it together, that's fine. Like, I don't know. I know it seems like I'm coming off as like I'm ranting or bitching about it. I'm just very passionate about the way that they're doing it right now, and I don't want that to change. If it's getting enhanced, then yeah, that's awesome. I like that. But if it's not getting enhanced and it's becoming more like Star Rail, then that becomes an issue.
Gameplay improvement. Our team has also been constantly exploring the idea of bringing Zenless Zone Zero to users on more platforms. What I can reveal right now is that Zenless Zone Zero is being prepared for launch on the Xbox platform.
Xboo? Yo, chat, why are we getting Xboos?
In the upcoming Xbox live stream.
The Xboo is real.
The current combat design.
Okay, here we go. Combat design.
The presence of the characters other than the main DPS.
Yes.
What should be a 3-person tactical squad feels more like a solo.
Pausing. I'm pausing. we need a full screen clap. Hold on. I need y'all to understand. That alone, bro. We need a full screen clap on that one, big dog. We need a full screen clap on that one. You know how it's like they heard me. It's like they heard Lord Sephiroth heard my cries, and he was like, bro, don't worry, I got you. I'm gonna just boop, 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 boop. He mermaid manned my thoughts to the Zenless devs, bro, because Astra Nicole. Why? It's the same complaint I have with Wuthering Waves, bro. And I knew Zenless was getting to that point. Y'all be like, man, why do you like Seth so much? Why is Seth tier 0? Seth isn't tier 0. He's trash. Why do you want to play? Why would I play Seth when I could play this character? Because I'm playing the full team. If I want to play a one-person team, a single DPS, guess what character I'm picking? Sanby. But if I don't want to play that, I'm going to find a team that functions as a team, and they're going to do all the things that are super efficient. There is no wasted slot on the team. No one is on the team in the back doing nothing the whole time, right? But because the character's so broken, I'm meditating. Every time I meditate, I give you a plus 5,000 experience point, plus 9,000 attack, 60% speed, and I'll also increase all of your ultimate meter by a 9 million. But I don't do anything. What the f am I doing? Like, oh yeah, okay. But now, based off what I just heard, okay, my teams are gonna start feeling more like teams. I used to pray for times like this, bro. Good man, good. I'm here for it. Man. Wait till they dress it even more. Oh, pedals, don't tease me like that.
Operation. So for the character combat design in Season 2, we will enhance the functionality and performance of non-DPS characters.
Yes.
For example, when agents are switched out, they can still remain on field and contribute to combat. Thus, there's a visual indication of their combat performance. While not affecting
is this what you guys meant about the Wuthering
agent?
Are we getting proper switch tech?
Is adding new attack and defense mechanics for enemies. Specific moves might require specific counter strategies that require teamwork from different characters in your squad or in certain special combat.
Nah. Yes. Bro. I love that. Do I need to explain why I love that? I like this for two different reasons. Number one, why do I like the possibility of them adding new attacks and defensive mechanisms for the enemies? because it forces the player to change what they can or can't do or how they approach whatever it is going on in the game. 2, I like this because it makes the enemy more or less robotic. It's not the same pattern over and over and over and over and over again, right? It brings a little bit more variety to the enemy. And I like that they also, where is it at right here? They had a whole sentence to this, but it requires teamwork from different characters in your squad. The reason I like that that's an extended part of the sentence, right? Or the extended part of the statement. The reason I like that is because now let's take what Nyx does this all the time. I do it once he taught it to me, right? The freezing mechanic or the freezing ability with Miyabi, or his as he calls it, explosion Haru, right? His explosion Haru Masa, which you can't really patch that. I'm not gonna hold you, but in the event you could, okay? Allowing you to change or think about another gameplay or another game plan against the enemy makes the fight better, because now it's not you fight this thing this way, this only this way, this one way, and that's it. No, but now you can fight this way 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different ways with this one team. You can fight it 3 or 4 different ways with this other team, so on and so forth. Now, this, of course, is me speculating without seeing all the information. The concept alone, I love it. I love it. I love that concept as a whole. Allowing you, I am, Nyx, I'm 100% jumping the gun, absolutely. But I'm not gonna sit here and look at that and go, yeah, no, that's dog shit. Pisses me off, bro. Can't even, no way. How are they gonna change my game to not let me play the game I wanna play my way? I only wanna play the game one way, and that's my way. If they don't let me play it that one way, game's trash. If they add more ways for me to play the game and enjoy it, f that trash. I'm not gonna do that. Like, I'm gonna be optimistic about it, and then if that's not what happens, cool.
Through specific conditions. Of course, some of these are just preliminary ideas.
That's good.
While others might make an appearance in the version 2.0 special program.
Yes.
However, the ultimate goal of these optimizations is to enhance overall synergy between characters, elevating both combat and visual experience to the next level.
That's what I want. That's what I want. That's what I want right there.
In our
Absolutely.
future development plans, we are aiming to
You can change the
optimize
controls. You
advanced
can't change them
visual
that much though.
aspects. First, we'll continue improving on existing game modes, such as Grand Muscle Adventure, Bamboo vs. Ethereal, and so on.
Wait, this
To
is,
make them more fun.
these are still in the game? I thought these were gone. I thought they got rid of these in the game. Not currently. Okay, they're updating it. So they're bringing it back to be what I'm assuming is a permanent feature in the game. I really enjoyed this game. I know a lot of people really enjoyed Fall Guys, right? Josh loves this game. I can't stand Fall Guys. And it's only this mode. I hate this mode. Whatever this mini game is, I hate it. All the other ones, I love it. Now, what would be really cool, Zenless, you can take this idea from me. I want royalties, but you can take this idea from me. Mario Kart with bang boos. Drop it in. Drop it in. I'm just a hater of that mode in Fall Guys, though. That's specifically me.
At the same time, we'll be rolling out more exciting new gameplay. In future versions, we might see casual duels between bamboos, or even get to control a giant bamboo.
Okay, yo, they're letting their ideas flow. I like this.
Bamboo, we'll also introduce some slow-paced, relaxing events to enrich Proxy's everyday life outside of the
okay,
main
here's that Persona
such
stuff
as
we keep
spending
talking
joyful
about.
Moments with agents at hot pot restaurants.
Zhu, you went the
Movie
fattest of
theaters, and
asses.
more.
Oh my gosh.
We also
Anyway.
hope that beyond the intense and thrilling combat events, players can also take up research to enjoy the lighter story events.
I wonder what they're gonna do with that, right? So like they're planned for lighter story events, which would I'm assuming that means like no combat in the story, right? Like you just watch it through. I kind of like that. I like that there might be both. That's another thing that I like. I keep saying it all the time, right? Another thing that I like about Zenless is that it's giving you the options. That's always good. The same thing with the TVs. I never really had a big issue with the TVs. I know a lot of people did. I do want to point something out though, which I think is really funny. Everyone that had an issue with TVs, so they dropped the game, TVs went away, they're still not playing the game. And some of them are still talking about the game. I just want to point that out. TV mode was not a horrible thing. It was just not up to snuff for everybody. And them reducing it was the better play, right? But I like that I can just go into the game, play through the story, and then keep on about my day. You know what I mean? Or if I want to, I can play through the TV mode. I like having the option for both. I think adding mini games that happen to have the TV are pretty cool. So the lighter story mode, I really want to know what their game plan is or their thought process is with that. Me personally, if they're going to do it that way, I would like for them to also keep the TV modes out so that you can enjoy it just like you would. Basically, honestly, treat it like a anime. Literally just drop the anime. Drop the anime with the comic panels, whatever it is, and let someone click auto and just watch it. Just watch it all the way through. Doing that allows you to have a relaxing, as I said, a relaxing story experience to where you can just enjoy the story. If they're going to do something like that, though, they 100% either need to incorporate a reason for you to be going from like place to place on the map and make it a little bit more entertaining, or remove it entirely and let it just auto take you there, right? They auto walk to wherever they need to go. They auto teleport to wherever they need to be, that kind of stuff. Because if you keep breaking apart and there's no combat, people will complain. If you break it apart so that it's like, oh, okay, cool. Here's where you need to be. Go to New Iridu. All right, awesome. Story's over. Now you have to walk across the street to go into Bardic Needle, and then the story starts again. Bro, you could have just had them auto walk or teleport. Like, there's no reason for that. So I'm hoping that something like that happens, or they use comic book panels to transition in between locations. That'd be pretty cool too.
Every character is the result of our team's blood, sweat, and dedication. Our
Early
team has
character
put in
planning.
quite
What
a
is
bit
this?
of effort to
Plans in the
ensure
future regarding characters
are
released earlier in the
relatively
game.
future-proof and have long-term value. Showcasing a character's charm isn't just about
Corin!
beefing up their stats.
Oh wait, this is the
While
Hollow Zero. That's a Hollow Zero
maintaining
move.
character's unique traits, we will
That's
strategically
Astra's
enhance their
Hollow
unique traits, rather than
Is
just
this the
simply
thing that I was
boosting
talking
their
about earlier? They're
damage
buffing?
For example, we'll supplement or even rework
Hold on.
simply boosting will strategically
Enhance their unique traits.
rather than just simply
Boosting their
damage
damn. Oh, they're
For
going about it the
example,
right
we'll
way.
supplement or even rework certain skills and their effects.
I knew it.
Tailoring
Hollow
them
Zero
to
was a
each character's
testing ground.
experience.
The Lost
Besides
Void in
that,
particular.
we'll also
They were
consider
using
each
Lost
character's
Void
role
to
very
test
strong.
how
While
these
strengthening
skills
the characters,
and new
we will
implementations
also take
would
into
work.
consideration their compatibility with other characters in future versions. In terms of storytelling,
I
we
like
hope
this.
that our characters, even those have already been
I like
released,
this a lot.
can showcase their own unique charm. In version 1.7, for example, we'll get to see quite a few scenes between Lycan and Hugo. These
Lycan needs a buff.
interactions are crucial for the character's emotional investment in the long run. We hope that every character can find a purpose that belongs solely to them.
I'm here
in
for it.
different corners of New Iridu.
I'm here for it.
Although
Absolutely.
it might be challenging to do this well, we'll continue to work hard to create more meaningful relationships between characters and players, or even take their bond to the next level.
Nice. I think before we end that off, I do want to mention something. Actually, you know what? How many minutes? We have 1 minute left. I'm gonna let it play out, and then I'll talk about it. I'm gonna let it play out. I'll talk about it. We'll go into that.
As a new team, we've admittedly
Lycan's
fell
still
short
solid.
in the
I didn't say
early
he was
stage
bad. I
in
said he
terms
needed a
of
buff.
both narrative and the gameplay elements. We've been working hard to make improvements, continuously incorporating feedback from proxies and optimizing our content. Thank you, proxies, for your continued patience, feedback, and support.
Thank you,
In future
developers.
content updates, we will prioritize ensuring content quality and humbly continue to welcome feedback and guidance from our proxies with the utmost respect. We hope Season 2 will bring proxies a more complete and smoother
I
experience.
love that they're
If you
calling it
encounter
Season
any
2.
issues with gameplay experience, we hope you will share more
There's a
feedback
reason
through
for
the
that. I'm gonna
official
point it out because I'm
community
petty,
channels.
but
Your feedback and suggestions are crucial for our future content development. See you next time.
I love it. I love it.
Working-
Oh, I remember.
we've been
The characters, they mentioned something about improving the characters and they wanted to rework characters. One of the things that I think they're going to have a challenge with, like they mentioned, will be trying to find a way to incorporate what the character already did, making them improved and making them up to date, but still future proofing them, at least for a patch or two, or in this case, a season or two, right? Because we just saw with 1.0 to 1.7, This was a long year. I think we're just now getting to season 2. I like saying that for Zenless now. We're just now getting to season 2 around the anniversary of the game. It felt like a really long year to continue playing one whole season. Now, I'm not opposed to this. I don't think I had really too many issues when it comes to Zenless Zone Zero. There were some ups and downs for sure, but each patch that we've gotten, they have improved on the game. I cannot complain. I actually can't complain. The one thing that I would complain about is literally Astra. That's it. The only thing in the entire game that I could complain about would be Astra. And it's not even a complaint that's like, bro, fuck Astra, get her out of the game. I don't care enough. But if I had to give you a single complaint, it would be Astra. Every single patch, they have improved upon the game. The developers, and I mentioned this, I showed this guy, I'm gonna show you again. I tried to get so many people to watch this Zenless X Capcom developer talk, right? Let me see if I can find it. There it is. We talked about this last time on stream a little bit, and I showed it to some of you guys. You guys had no idea what this was. I'm bringing this up in the video again, just so that more people are aware. The Zenless Cross Street Fighter round table, where they had the Street Fighter developers from Street Fighter 6 developers with the Zenless Zone Zero developers, and they created a nice bond. It was awesome. What's wrong with Astra? I'll explain after I'm done with this. But all of this happened, and I talked about why this video was so good, so important for people to watch, especially if they cared about Zenless or wanted to know more about Zenless and the way it goes. Why I'm so hopeful for Zenless and the developers, why I have a lot of, I don't want to say faith, to be fair, but maybe it is faith, right? Trust, faith, whatever. I don't question a lot of what's going on when it comes to them delivering on this stuff. It's because of this dev talk right here, this round table. The developers from the horse's mouth, out of their mouth, straight up said what they were doing. Then they doubled down. Was it the first Zenless, we just watched the dev talk here. I think it was the first dev talk where they actually had Dwayne on there. And then Dwayne openly stated, yeah, I wanted to make Bang Boos cost money. I wanted you to pull Bang Boos on a gacha system and make you pay for it, right? And the developers straight up said, yeah, so he said that, and we deliberately didn't do it. Like, we knew that would be a bad idea for our game. It wasn't a part of our vision, so we didn't do it. And now Dwayne sees, damn, they were on the money. They were right. Dwayne then went on to say, they were so right and I was wrong that I gave them full control of the ship to do whatever the hell they need to do with Zenless. This is a big reason why the Zenless developers and why we see what Zenless does versus Starro and Genshin, knock on fake wood all the time, is because the developers are the ones in control of the ship. For now, obviously, let's hope it stays that way. They're aware. They're paying attention to the feedback from the players. They're looking at creators. If any of my other creators could probably speak up for this that are a part of like whatever the Zenless team is and stuff like that, they are actively asking questions or trying to get more information on what's good or bad or what might be an issue, any bugs that need to be reported, so on and so forth. They pay attention to their surveys, which are very, just like weathering, right? Doing the surveys, they're paying attention, they're reading the surveys, so on and so forth. This is super good for the state of the game and the future of the game. I with Zenless's devs mad heavy because they do stuff like this. Finishing that up, super ecstatic about season 2 and what it brings. And this is just the beginning of season 2. Man, I think the most hype that I am for, right? Like season 2, which it didn't sound like it was going to be like 2.0. Maybe it's going to be like 2.1, 2.3, whatever. I'm really excited for what they talked about with the enemy designs, the characters, making enemies, fusing them together or making them have different mechanics or attack, offensive, defensive options or moves, and then making the player or having the player have different options to fight it, maybe having to use different teams or teammates, different strategies. I love that. That's probably my biggest thing that I saw from this that made me go, damn, I want it. Right? One of the big things that I've been talking about and asking for is to make teams feel more like teams and to orchestrate as such. And I understand that there might be some, well, if they do that, right? Because I talked about the idols earlier. If they do that, then, you know, that forces you to pull the entire team, or that forces you to pull the entire whatever. No, it doesn't. It does not. At one point, we thought that, right, with Zenless, whenever it came out and they had the faction idea, and then they took it away. So there's still going to be some things to implement what's going on. But that's going to be the end of the video. I know that was a long video. I really wanted to just kind of break down what was going on. That was quite literally one of the best dev talks that I've seen from them. I guess I can't really say that all the dev talks have been pretty good, but this one, I think this one was the most exciting. That might be the best way for me to say that. It might not have been one of the best, but it was definitely the most exciting, and I love it. I'm really looking forward to what they're going to be bringing to the table, and we'll see what happens. I can't say my usual outro because it's inappropriate for YouTube. Chat, Twitch, and YouTube, say goodbye. Like the video, comment, subscribe. Smell you later.